You're watching the Battered Herons Network.
The Herons are back. Beards talking, balls rapping pink and black. Coming live from the 305, it's official tissue. The Battered Fan, Chris and Dan, weekly rocking with you. We talk Messi, Boosie, Jordi, Lucho, the Fat Four, to Ben Cram, Noah, Ruiz, Fred. What more could you ask for? Tighten up and get ready, listen in on the pod. Solana and X in Espanol, just to even the odds. Breakdowns and gas bagging, join the tribe and just buy free 99. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't hesitate, say what's up, go ahead and come in. No question about it, I'm ready to get hurt again.
No question about it, I am ready to get hurt again.
Chris, the Herons are back. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 305 of the Battered Herons podcast. I am your host, Daniel Ganada, and alongside me, as always, I got Mr. KBD. How are you doing, sir?
Episode 305, and we're live. It's an amazing day, and we got another game this weekend. That's fun. A lot of stuff to talk about.
What?
A lot of stuff to talk about.
You said we got a new game?
We got a game. We got a game this
Oh,
weekend.
a game. I thought you said we had a new game. I was like, oh,
not a new game.
I thought I found out new information. Okay. We got a game. Yes, we got a game coming up on Saturday. It's going to be the fourth preseason game, 4 out of 5, because we got the fifth one, which is a throwaway next week on Valentine's. We can touch on that if you want, because that's going to be a disaster. But I think the story of the day, even though it isn't necessarily Inter Miami related, kind of is though. Cucho Hernandez has been transferred over to La Liga, Real Betis, and he is no longer a part of the Columbus Crew. And then Christian Ramirez, the other big name from Columbus Crew, also left over to LA. He got bought out for like 250 games or something like that. It was a steal deal. Columbus Crew,
they're on life support.
They're crumbling. You got Cincinnati crumbling because Lucho Acosta is going to be out soon. So my question to you, Chris, the East, is it looking as weak as I think it is? Because those are all positive signs to me.
I mean, if for those of you that are watching, you see the Eastern Conference right here in the middle of the screen. For those of you on audio, we have it lined up with the Eastern Conference.
These are the standings from last year.
Yes, the standings from last year. Look, Columbus is falling big time, off the cliff, just like all their fan base.
I mean, we go through it. Yeah, Columbus is number 2 right behind us. They're crumbling.
Yeah, Cincinnati also crumbling. I mean, Cincinnati, Lucho doesn't even want to sniff a second in Ohio. Orlando just lost Facundo. Mm-hmm. Okay, Charlotte is the only one that might maintain, if not, maybe inch up a little bit more.
I think Charlotte will move up, absolutely.
New York City, I believe they'll probably stay somewhere around the same.
They still have the same home field advantage. James Sands is gone. Santi Morales is 60 years old, and he re-signed. But I agree that they'll stay afloat.
And didn't the Rebels lose somebody also? If I'm not mistaken, I think that they lost someone in the offseason. I mean, I'm going to have to look into it. But Montreal, they lost Joseph, who's looking happier than ever in San Jose. And I don't see them getting better. Atlanta, I do see them getting better. Absolutely. I do feel like they're going to climb up. I feel like they're going to be in the middle half, if not a little bit higher than the bottom half. DC United, I mean, look, you guys had the highest scoring player in the league last year, and you were 10.
Okay.
Like, come on, Toronto, Insigne still is not happy there. I mean, they still have the Italians there. Philadelphia is Philadelphia. They might inch up last second. I think that they'll probably
reminding us they lost Token.
That's the player that they lost, Tolkien, yes.
And Andre Reyes technically also, but they wanted him gone after he randomly had the food poisoning or whatever it was right before the final.
Now, Nashville, I do think that they acquired a player recently as well. So Nashville did, I have to check the player, but Nashville did acquire a player. So I feel like they can climb up. New England acquired a player in Campana. And so they're going to be up there for sure.
Campana, Langoni, and if Carlos Gil stays, which
if
they're
Hales.
saying that he might not stay, but if he stays, that's a formidable attack right there with Campana, Gil, and Langoni.
Yeah.
So I agree. New England might take a move up if those three are there.
And then Chicago, like, very last. I don't know what acquisitions they made. I think they had Lassiter. They got rid of him like in 5 minutes, gave him to Portland. And I don't know what they're doing other than the Neymar talk.
Well, they missed out on him. They got some kid named Bamba from Celta Vigo, I believe. He's supposed to be a good winger. But outside of that, I don't know if you go from such a bad team last year, add a DP winger, and all of a sudden go ahead and start, killing it. So I would say Chicago, maybe they'll improve. I don't think they'll kill it. New England might improve. But just going based off of Miami, right? Because this is the Battered Herons. I will talk MLS when we get on the MLS show. But just going based off of Miami, what teams are you really worried that could overtake Miami as the best team in the East? Because although New England has improved, I mean, I'd have to take a deeper look. But outside of Campana, the team is very similar to last year's. Chicago also. Philadelphia, I think he signed somebody today that I remember. I forgot who it was that signed today. But I don't see a team that necessarily is making waves in the Eastern Conference. I feel like it's gotten weaker. And the top two teams that were supposed to compete, Columbus and Cincinnati, they're falling off. I think Charlotte might be that team that we have to worry about. A lot of people say in Atlanta, maybe. I mean, they added Almiron. I don't know if he's going to be the same as he was. And then Latila, but Latila, I don't know. It's the price tag, I think, that kills me with him. Maybe he will be good. And then the Red Bulls, they got Chupo. I forgot his name, but he's a DP striker. He might help the Red Bulls a bit. But I think it's gotten weaker.
Well, and first, I just want to answer this question. A shout out to Hazel Lopez asking Chris and Danny, who's our biggest rival, ATL or Orlando? I mean, at this point, I feel like it's granted to say ATL. We played them when their stakes. They literally took us out of the playoffs in a 3-game series. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty simple answer to give. I don't know if you feel the same before I start bringing up other comments.
No, I agree. I think at the moment it's Atlanta, and that's the beautiful thing, right? It changes. Orlando because of the proximity, but in reality, right now it's Atlanta. It was Nashville at one point, but they completely fell off the face of the earth.
Well, and I want to bring up this comment here. Sean is answering the question for some of us. I don't know if they can overtake us, but we might get hung up on is ATL, Red Bulls press, and Philly, Red Bulls press, but more intense. I do feel like Philly is going to give us a run in the Eastern Conference because they're just consistently, they do very well with the little that they have. I don't know. I mean, there's a new manager, so I don't know how well they're going to pan out in that sense, but we're just going to have to see. But aside from that, I think Charlotte will give us a little bit of a problem. And I do think that Atlanta, it will also give us issues because they pumped into their squad.
Atlanta, right before the playoffs started, decision day, they were, I think, in 10th or 11th place. They needed things to fall in line.
Yes.
Because they ended up in the playoffs and eliminated Inter Miami, which was the best team in the league. I get it why people are hyped up. But overall, like if you look at it before decision day, for the full season, they weren't great.
Yeah.
They were pretty poor. And all they've added in the offseason is Almiron, which again, I don't know how he's gonna be after he's been out 6 years since we've last seen him. And then again, Latila, which somebody in the comments said that he's worth the 27 mil or 22 mil, whatever it was. Maybe I will have to see. Now I will tell you, I saw the video of him when he first got into the Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah.
And his reaction and the excitement you can feel that he has for being there. Like it did, like if I would have been an Atlanta fan, I would have been pretty happy. This kid's gonna play his ass off because he's hyped. So it's the price tag that I think that everybody gets, and myself gets hung up on, because I think they paid way too much for him. But when you watch that video, like, okay, this kid's he's gonna play his ass off.
Well, I mean, we're probably going to get more into that in the MLS podcast at 10 o'clock tonight. But yeah. I mean, look, that video they put up of Almiron with Chris Henderson answering that iPhone, and then with this, I mean, if I'm an Atlanta fan, I'm looking forward to this season. So,
and I'm looking forward to Miami playing Atlanta, man. We play them in March, and it's going to be fun. I'm really excited that that the team that we're considering our rival is a team that people are expecting to be good. But again, so looking at the top, I don't know, 5 teams are behind us. So 1 through 6. Who do you think has improved?
Charlotte.
I think we've improved.
Well, without including ourselves, because I feel like we have improved.
But we've improved. We're deeper than last year.
Yes.
We're deeper, I think, in most spots than last year, except for striker, because Campana left. And we're going to get into the backup striker talk in a second. But I think we're deeper than last year. I think we've improved. Columbus has fallen off. They've lost players. Cincinnati has lost. Orlando City lost their best player. I think Charlotte, out of the top 6, is the only team that might have improved a bit. And they have the best defense in the league. So you have the best defense in the league. You kept that defense intact. And then you add an attacking player next to Ajimang. And I think that Charlotte is going to be a dangerous team. And then you look from 7 on down. Some of the bad teams have improved, but they were bad teams. Do you really think they're going to make a jump from 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way down to 15 up to 1 or 2? I mean, it's possible. But I think that we have a chance of being dominant in the East again.
Well, I mean, Charlotte's it's scary because their defense was so solid, and they just added Wilfried Zaha and Pep Biel as a midfielder and Zaha as a forward. I mean, it's, they also got that Colombian kid, the one with the braids. He's a badass. He's awesome. His last name starts with a V. Awesome. I wish we had him on this team, to be perfectly honest. I think that Charlotte's probably going to be the one that's going to be the most problematic in the East.
I don't disagree with you. I think Charlotte, I think Atlanta has a chance of moving up a bit. I think the Red Bulls also. I think the fact that Forsberg was injured so much last year, I think once he got healthy, they started playing well. I think that, and the fact that they signed the DP forward, I think that's going to help them also. But I think that some of the usual suspects are going to fall off, like Ohio basically is falling off. So I think that they've gotten weaker. We've gotten stronger. I'm excited for the season because I do think that Miami, although they have a lot of competitions coming up and schedule congestion and whatnot, when you look at the East landscape, I think even with that and the fact that we're going to have to do a lot of rotating of the roster, I think we'll still be sitting pretty for a lot of the season.
Somebody, it was, I believe it was Rick A commented, great way to do the 305 episode talking about every other team other than Miami, right? If you want to keep it 305, okay, can I bring up the picture that I saved, Danny? Is that okay?
Yeah,
listen, guys, this is the record so far in terms of the total transactions as of January 27, 2025 for the specialty plate. Right here, you see Inter Miami. We've only purchased 1,493 and 1,507 need to be purchased to get this. This is embarrassing. The Dan Marino stupid plate thing is not even on here anymore. Did that sell? Like the one that I was clowning on for like a year and a half ago?
I think they might take it off after a while.
Well, I mean, with us, they're definitely going to take it off. I mean, look at this. Margaritaville has 2,199 plates sold already, pre-ordered. This is an embarrassment, Inter Miami organization. If anyone that's listening from the organization, you guys are an embarrassment. The fact that you're not getting this and offering this to OGs, to original ticket holders, or the fact that you're not selling this with every single season ticket membership, or the fact that you're not purchasing 1,500 and raffling them off, you guys with this plate thing are a joke. I'm sorry, that might be drastic.
No.
It's been 2 years. It's been 2 years since this thing has been on sale.
Look, we talked to people from Orlando, and the people from Orlando told us that Orlando basically gave it to everybody.
Yes.
They let you sign up at the stadium, and they covered it for them. So yeah, that sucks that Orlando got it that way with their front office, and we haven't been able to get that done yet.
And Sean Callahan's telling me talk shit about Dan Marino. Like, listen, where the ring's at? Where the ring's at? Okay, greatest QB of all time. Get out of here. Okay, and Danny, we have a super cool super slam by Luis Garcia. Shout out to Luis Garcia with the 305.
Bang! Bang! Boom shakalaka! Boom shakalaka!
Tremendo super
Yeah.
dollars of that's awesome. Shout out to you, Luis Garcia.
Much appreciated.
Happy 305. Thanks for you guys for all you do, for all the content, and for giving so much of your time to keep us engaged and entertained. Listen, it's because of you, Luis, and everybody else. It's so much appreciated, honestly. And that was
and before we keep going, actually this week we've kind of gone light on the shows. I think this is the first one we do, right? Because we didn't do Monday, we did only Las Garzas. Yesterday we didn't do. We did today. We're not going to be on tomorrow. We usually do Thursday nights also. Now, for anybody wondering why, it's not because we're just going to stop. We know what's coming.
Yes.
What's coming is heavy duty. If Inter Miami's playing games every 3 days, we're doing shows like every day. So we know that once February 18th comes around, and we're going to do a watch along, by the way, for that very first game against KC for the Champions Cup. We know once that starts, our season starts also. And we're going to be knocking out shows basically 4 or 5 times a week at a minimum. So we're trying to take it easy this last week or so before things pick up, because once we start going, we go from now until the end of the season, which is hopefully first or second week of December. So we appreciate you guys hanging out with us, and we're taking it easy this week just because things are about to get going.
He said, Mike V says Louis FW is trying to do $3.50 or maybe $3.05. That would be cool if he would have done $3.05. That would have been cool too. Super.
Yeah. No, yeah, we do appreciate it all. And then, like I said, to start off the season, just because we want to start it off right, we are going to go ahead and do a watch along for the very first game. We've been itching for the games to count. So when it does, the very first one, we will be there. We will be on here, and hopefully you guys join us, because it's going to be a good time. And hopefully we start with a dub. But again, getting ahead of myself, there's still 13 days away. For those of you, I don't know if anybody's been wondering why those days have been on there for the last couple of weeks. That's the countdown to the first game that counts, which is the CCC. And we are now 13 days away.
And we did have a game recently, though, Danny. Well, and look, Mr. Krabs asking, have you been yelling? Why is your voice hoarse?
Yeah, I am sick, actually. I considered not doing the show today, but because it was episode 305, I figured I was going to tough it out. We actually had a guest appearance at 8 o'clock, which they don't do it live, so that'll come out at some point next week, I guess. And then this, and then at 10 o'clock, I do yell at them. That's not why today. And at 10 o'clock, we're going to do the Battered MLS fans, and then I'm going to let my voice rest for the next couple of days, and hoping that I get better.
Well, we did have a game recently. It was against San Miguelito. I don't know if it was a game or a Royal Rumble, and coincidentally, Royal Rumble was just recently, which was a really good game, especially in the second half. Solana disagrees. He thinks that was it Solana? I forgot who, but someone disagreed in the Spanish show. Thought the first half was better than the second half, but it was really cool. And Sergeant, thanks for the shout out, guys. Take a second, like the stream. That helps out the channel a lot. It gets this content to people that are looking for it. So, but Danny, I know that you said you watched a little bit of the San Miguelito.
I didn't watch any of the game, and now this is my thing, and maybe somebody can point me in the right direction. I was celebrating my father's birthday. His birthday was yesterday, but we celebrated going out early with him, so I missed the game on the weekend. I try to go back on the website. They don't have a replay.
No.
So once you miss it, and that's it. You missed it. So I didn't get to watch the game. I watched some of the highlights. So I can't talk too much about the game. I know that we scored 4 goals. I know Kremaki got it to the back of the net. I know Fafa did.
Scored 3 goals.
Fafa scored 3 goals?
No, we scored 3 goals.
Oh, it's 3, not 4. I'm sorry, 3.
Yeah.
It was Fafa, Kremaki, and I forgot who else. And then I think the highlight that stood out to me, which like probably for most, was that tackle on Messi, which was wild. But the very first thing that stood out to me when I watched that highlight was, and yes, Louis, my father's birthday was yesterday. The very first thing that stood out to me was that the first player to run after, because when you watch it back, and I forgot to pull it up, everybody else keeps either playing or looking at the ref like, yo, what are you going to do about it? But Cello didn't do any of that. He went after the guy. For all you Cello haters, Cello is the guy. He is the enforcer. He is the what's the security guard's name? Yassine or something?
Oh, yeah. No, I think it's Yassine. I'm not sure exactly what
he is the on-field Yassine or whatever his name is on the pitch. There is a shirt that was already made, and I'm going to put it out next week with Cello with his he threw up his set. Look,
I'm
Cello,
getting the picture now.
I've been riding the Cello wagon for the last couple of weeks because everybody's hating on him, and I'm sorry, but this had to have pushed some people over. Like, all right, let's give this guy Cello a chance, because Cello, to me, when he squared up on the goalkeeper, I was like, this is my guy. This is my guy. There you go. There you go. So I love that. I mean, what better way to rep the 305? Don't F with the GOAT. Don't F with Miami. Miami versus everybody. And Cello embodied that night. So shout out to Cello. Shout out to everybody that's pushing over to the Cello bandwagon. And, we'll see. I mean, look, I told you, I've been on the Cello bandwagon. Now, don't get me wrong. I still think Ian Frey's better for the position. But if they're not going to get into Ian Frey, I'm okay with Cello being there.
And shout out to John Paul Terrazas with another with a super slam. It is super duper much appreciated. Super cool, man. Now, if you notice, he's got the tongue out and everything. Like, he's really ready for all the smoke. Like, look at this. Mike V says Cello lifting up his shorts hood style.
But you know what my favorite part of this picture is? Is that it's the 3 dogs on the team.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
It's Toto and David Ruiz. Like, those are the dogs on the team. Like,
yeah.
Those are the 3 guys that you know are oh, what? There's something going on? Let's go. So I think that's my favorite part of the picture, is that it's not just Cello. It's Toto, which, when he sees an opportunity to get a yellow card, he's running. Like, I'll give me one. And then David Ruiz, which is just David Ruiz. He embodies the 305. So shout out to David Ruiz and all of them. I love it.
Yeah, super. That needs to be this needs to be on a shirt.
Miami
this needs to be on a rap album.
Go ahead. Yeah. Oh, don't worry. I got the little parental advisory sticker on the shirt and everything. Yeah. So batteredfans.com if you guys want to get on there, and I'll have that out next week.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be dope.
Anything else you want to talk about the San Miguelito? I didn't get to watch the game, obviously. Everybody said that Ustari looked good again, even though he finally gave up a goal. So we're not going to hear that whole, Ustari, clean sheets. He finally gave up a goal. I don't remember what it was like. I don't know if it was his fault or not, but my understanding is that he looked good again. So we'll see. Looks like maybe if Drake keeps being injured, as they say, and he's not playing, I'm sorry. If he doesn't play any preseason game, you cannot throw him out there. You can't throw him out there for a game that matters if he hasn't played any preseason game. No way. Like, that's it. You lost your spot then.
I mentioned this earlier in the shows, and I mentioned this on Twitter on Franco's post too. Franco's been a monster on Twitter, guys, for Miami Total Football Radio. He's been a monster posting up stuff, interviews and stuff. Listen, if Drake doesn't play preseason, he's absolutely cooked. Absolutely.
Yeah, you have to play. You can't not play, and then all of a sudden we're wondering how's he going to be distributing with his feet? Did he work on it in the off season? And all of a sudden we're going to find out in the first Champions Cup game? Absolutely not. I'm sorry. Like, I am all for. I want Drake to be the starter. But if he doesn't play this Saturday, I'm sorry. That's it. He lost his job. He lost his job just based on the fact that I'm not ready for him to just randomly jump in there and just start trying to see if he can figure things out on the fly. Now, it's Ustadi's job at that point. So to me, Saturday, if Drake doesn't play, it's a wrap.
Well, Mike V saying if Rocco was playing, we would have had a clean sheet. I kind of agree. He's a beast.
Didn't he allow 2 goals the last time he played?
He's a beast. Get out of here, Danny. Next topic, international slot. We ended up getting one of those.
Another one.
Yes.
Another one. We should have a drop with DJ Khaled. We got another one. Another international slot. Yeah. We messed up on that one. Another international slot from San Diego. Now, I don't keep count of these because it's just so many to keep out on. I think we needed 13. I think with this one we're at 12. But then they're talking about possibly bringing another international player. So I don't know what's going on. Now, one thing that did come out was that if you are part of the Club World Cup, you do get an extra $750,000 in GAM. So Seattle and Miami were both given an extra $750,000 in GAM just for being a part of that tournament to help with the rosters for the tournament. And so they have the additional money to keep buying these international slots. So I'm not worried about it. I'm sure they'll get it done before the start of the season. But I think that they might. And again, I'm not saying this as a fact. I think that they still need one. But maybe I'm wrong, and maybe they already got all the ones that they need. It's hard to keep count of all these international slots and these players, and some are citizens and some are residents, and it's just I'm having a hard time keeping up with all of them.
I do want to mention a couple things because look, people are mentioning that, like Sean is saying, we're overpaying for these international slots. Soccer Daddy saying we're throwing that money away. You guys don't understand. We've been making money off of all these players that we've been giving away, like that we've been giving out for the last year or two. Like we made money off of Bryce Duke this year, if I'm not mistaken. There's players that we're going to be making money off of that's helping out the cause with getting some of this stuff done.
Chris, if you had an international slot that you were willing to trade, and the going rate for an international slot is 100,000, 150,000, right?
Yes.
And then Miami calls you and yo, I need one. How much are you charging them?
Oh, you're going to charge them a buttload.
I'm charging them a buttload, but not because I want to be just because I want to be a dick, right? Because that's part of it, but because they need it.
Yeah, they're
building it. Yeah, they need it. They need these international slots because they're building an international team. So at that point, I'm not giving it to you for the flat rate of 100, 150 GAM. I know somebody said that they're overpaying, but it's because it's probably hard to get it at a cheap value. So
it's right here, Sean.
But that's it. It's everybody knows. Oh, you got 13 players, but you only got 12 slots. I know you need another one, so you better pay up. And now I'm sure Miami could be all right, but somebody else is offering it for less, and they could play that game, right? And here goes the negotiations. But for the most part, if I know you need something, it's I'm blanking. It's supply and demand. There you go. It's supply and demand. Yep. I know that you need it. I'm sorry. Yesterday's price wasn't today's price.
I want to bring up a comment here because Sean Rodriguez is saying, I wonder if clubs purposely raised the price for international slot to Inter Miami.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what's happening. And the second thing I want to bring up, do Sean's with SEAN beef with Sean's with SHAWN? There's no way those two Sean's get along, right? Chris's with a K don't get along with Chris's with a C.
How many Chris's have you met with?
There's no way. I've met a couple. I mean, we went to school with a guy with a name Chris with a K.
Really?
Yeah, Bailey. You don't remember him? No. Oh, yeah. Well, I think that the Sean's with the SEAN and also SH's, they for sure are beefing. There's no way they get along.
I don't know. I ride with Shawn Michaels, and Shawn Michaels writes it SHAWN. So
I don't know.
So sorry, Callahan.
No, I like the SEAN. I don't like the SH.
Nah, you like the Sean Combs. I like the Shawn Michaels.
No, yeah, I don't like. Sorry, Sean Rodriguez, this is not the way for me.
Look, give me HBK over P Diddy. I'm sorry. All right. So we international slots. We got an additional one. Again, I don't know how many we need. I don't know how many we got, but there are rumors. El Diario or Dario or something like that. One of those South American news sites, and then Solana, I think, also reported it.
Yes.
That we're looking into Alan Obando. Now,
Yeah.
we lost an Ecuadorian backup striker, Campana, and we're looking into acquiring another one. He plays for, I forgot what the full name of the team is, but it's Barcelona in Ecuador. It's Barcelona and then a whole nother name. But he is a backup 9. Apparently, Atletico Madrid was bidding for him, but it didn't work out, and now Inter Miami is interested. I mean, that is, I think, the only need we have at the moment on this roster as far as backups go, because I think we're set with starters. And as far as backups go, I know maybe our center backs, we have Noah Allen and David Martinez as our backups. We are right back, we have Ian Frey and Lujan. Left back, we have Noah Allen as our backup. Our midfield is flooded with players. Like we're deep everywhere but striker. So I think that this would be great. Is it going to happen? I don't know. And then Rick A said it's called Barcelona Sporting Club. So did Mike V. Thank you. I thought it was, for some reason, I thought it was a longer name. Barcelona Sporting Club. But in Ecuador, and I think that would be an interesting get, especially if there's a team like Atletico Madrid that was interested in him. I mean, that has to mean something.
I mean, look, I don't know exactly who this guy is. I looked up his stuff, and he has 2 goals with Barcelona de Guayaquil. I don't even know if I'm saying that correctly. But I am definitely, I mean, for those of you that are looking, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been kind of busy back here, doing stuff while Danny was just kind of talking. And I don't know if this is going to work, and it's not. You know what I'm cooking up over here, right? Like,
I don't, but the fact that
what I'm doing.
And Stancy said that Obando looks pretty good in highlights. I mean, a lot of people look good in highlights. So, you got to take that with a grain of salt. But, I mean, it is what it is. At least he got a highlight reel. So I guess that's a good thing. He's 18. Let's see. Mike V says he's 18 years old. He's a prospect, but he is very good. Future first-team Ecuador player. And honestly, and I think that now David Riker. Yep, there you go, David. You know what he was cooking up.
Yes!
Look.
Got him. That's why I like Sean's with an SEAN. Get out of here, SHs.
Now, if you're a 66 and you're 18 years old, I think that's pretty good. If you're 18 years old,
yeah, it's not even a
playing
rare,
in
bro.
Ecuador, that's good. Now, I hope that was a bad picture because he looks rough in this picture. But I think that if we could get him at 18, I like it. He looks like I show. He does a little bit. That's a rough pick.
69 pace. Yeah, Rick A. This is ridiculous for us. I mean, come on.
Because he's 18. Like he could be the fastest person in South America, but they have to give him a low pace because as soon as they increase the pace, then his whole card value goes up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't look at that too much. But look, everybody says that he looks good in the highlights.
I guess we'll just have to take the highlight reel.
Yeah. Look, 18 years old. Atletico Madrid was interested. I mean, if he would have gotten there, he probably would have gotten loaned down somewhere else anywhere. But I think that sounds like a positive. I'm looking forward to it. Let's see. And hopefully that can happen because that would fill a hole that we definitely have at backup striker.
Absolutely.
All right.
Now we're going to square off against Olympia, Danny. Now, I talked a little bit about Olympia because when I was looking at their record, just so you know, they played 3 matches and they actually dropped down a little bit. They have a win, they have a loss, and they have a draw. And their most recent game, from what I see here, they actually lost, or they're playing right now and they're losing. against Real Sociedad. Sociedad. Yeah, they're playing against them. They're losing. They're winning. I'm sorry. They're winning 2-1. My apologies. They won against Olancho last game on Sunday, 2-1. They lost the last game before that, 1-0. And then they won against Julcalpa, 3-0.
Now, Mr. Crowd was saying that Olympia is the biggest club in Honduras. Maybe. I don't know. I couldn't
Well,
tell you.
Right now, there's a team called Guarani who is literally undefeated. Scored 9 points.
It's only a couple games into the season, though.
Or 5 points, sorry.
Now, Mascherano, when he was asked if the big guns are going to play, I think they asked Messi specifically, actually, if he expects them to play the last 2 games, he said he wasn't sure. Now, I came out here, I think it was when Brenton and Mike from the Inter Miami show were on with us, and I said, if you are considering going to that Valentine's Day game, don't waste your money. Not only is it overpriced, but the big dogs probably are going to play because it's on a Friday, and on Tuesday they play their first game that matters, which is the Champions Cup game. It sounded more and more like Messi won't be touching the pitch on that game, and I wouldn't put any of my starters in that game. It's a friendly against a team that we're going to play again in a couple weeks probably.
Yes.
I don't know why anybody would go to that game. It makes no sense. Hey, Inter Miami, if you need people to help you with just the day-to-day stuff, like preparing events, planning schedules or friendlies, hit us up. Because we wouldn't do something as stupid as this. Because this was idiotic.
Yeah, you guys need to fire that guy.
Yeah. I mean, reassign him.
Fire him.
Do a Raul Sanlehi. Send them to Coral Gables and get somebody because whoever thought this was a good idea was not thinking correctly. Because this was a terrible idea. Terrible idea. And again, I feel for anybody that actually spent the money because
Valentine's Day.
So Valentine's Day. These 4 days before games actually matter. Like, what are you doing
on a Friday?
Anyway, but we'll poo on that game a little more next week, I guess. Yeah. But this week we have Olympia, Honduras. So it's a bunch of David Ruiz. How are you feeling about Inter Miami going and playing? Because we already saw what happened when he played against Panama, how he got taken out, and that could have been really bad. Like the way he slid from behind, that could have been really bad.
That could have been season ending.
Absolutely. That's not even hyperbole. Like, that could have been really bad.
Yes.
How are you feeling about the team going and playing against this side in Honduras?
Well, before I answer, Sean Rodriguez is asking, why isn't Miami playing San Diego? Because the MLS schedule makers suck balls. That's why. They're idiots.
They should have.
Yeah, they're idiots. They're absolute morons.
And just in case Sean Rodriguez isn't aware, I don't know how much you watch MLS, but every team in the MLS doesn't play against all the other teams.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Especially on the West Coast. So, I mean, there's reason, I guess, to it, but that's an easy setup. San Diego, new team, should have been done. As far as this game against Olympia, this is dangerous. Because again, you got a bunch of Hondurans that play a lot more, they play ferocious. And so you're going to have them play against, this is, again, the team from Panama, San Miguelito, this is their one shot of being like on a global scale playing for that club. After that, how many people do you think are going to watch San Miguelito games at this point? Not the same amount that were watching that game before. So Olympia, how many people do you think watch their games now versus how many people you think are going to watch that game this Saturday? This is their time to show out. So they're going to show out as hard as they can, and it's going to be a bloodbath.
Chris, Tati Abro just called the schoolgirls. Tati. Come on. It's Valentine's Day, whether you care about it or not. And I'm not even talking about us personally, which I wouldn't be watching, right? Because I'm going to be with my wife. But a lot of people care about Valentine's Day, and they'll be going out and doing other things. maybe if it was an actual game that mattered or counted, but the fact that you put it on Valentine's Day, it's a preseason game that doesn't matter. On Valentine's Day, and you know that most players aren't going to play, and you put Inter Miami to play against Orlando in a separate city that is within driving distance from both other cities. Like, there's so many negatives to this. It's going to be an empty stadium, half empty.
And shout out to Richard Greenberg from Freezing Toronto, missing Boca big time. We were actually talking about Richard Greenberg earlier today. Shout out to some of the OGs. I forgot to mention this. Shout out to people like Alpha. Where you at, Alpha? Where's Rob Wise? Rob Wise, 124 brethren. Where you at? But listen, Olympia, it's gonna be a bloodbath. I feel like people are all gonna get the leg sweeps are coming. Leg sweeps are coming. Valentine's Day is an awful day game, right? You try to celebrate Valentine's every day. I get it. But like, it's a special, it's a special, I guess, holiday that was made, big by America and, making, I don't know if it was America, but basically it was a ploy to be able to get people to spend money and stuff like that. So I get it. But,
and Tati said people in South America don't care. Fair.
It's true. Yeah, it's true.
It's still a Friday night, I think. At least I think from when I've been to Colombia, people still go out on the weekends. So I think that people might go out, even if it's not Valentine's Day, on a Friday night, because if Messi isn't playing, is anybody from South America doesn't care about the MLS watching? Probably not.
Probably not.
So, all right. U.S. Open Cup, March. Oh, man, I just blanked. Was it the 16th or the 19th? IMCF2. IMCF2 starts the U.S. Open Cup run against Miami United. Right? Did I get that right?
Yes, Miami United FC.
So I am looking forward to that. I usually poo-poo all over the U.S. Open Cup, but because we have a true Open Cup team participating, IMCF2, I am rooting for them. I might even go to the games because I want them to win so badly. I want IMCF2 to be the Open Cup champs, and yeah. So that finally starts. Are you looking forward to the U.S. Open Cup?
I actually am looking forward to it. I actually would like to go watch it live. Miami FC. Funny thing, just to mention, Miami FC is playing against Naples United FC. Didn't even know there was a soccer team in Naples. Just in case anybody wants to go to FIU Stadium on Tuesday.
But that's why everybody loves the Open Cup, is because all these local teams
get these randos
participate. But look, I think it's cool, and that's why I like it this year. IMCF2 is participating. I think that's awesome. So I'm really excited about it.
Sargent with a diabolical take saying Drake will be the keeper for IMCF2.
If he's the keeper, he's holding that trophy at the end of the year.
Inter Miami CF2 plays against Miami United FC. That will be on March 19th at 7 p.m. Chase Stadium. That's a Wednesday. Yeah. Now, what I'm hoping for is, because Danny, I don't know if you know this, but they give Inter Miami CF2 tickets for free if you're a season ticket holder. But when I looked online, it says if you're interested, inquire with this link or whatever. I didn't finish filling it out, but if I get free tickets, I'll make the trek to Broward.
What did I call it, Chris?
Oh my goodness!
Hazel said it's called the Lamar Hunt Open Cup. It's not called the U.S. Open Cup.
The Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup, the oldest cup in American soccer history, buddy. I mean, Hazel. I mean, look, you know that Danny is not a big fan of this.
Oh, this year I love it. I can't wait for IMCF2 to win it all.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
I'm really looking forward to it. All right, and then the MLS season. So IMCF2. Inter Miami plays its first meaningful game in 13 days when they play against KC in KC for the Champions Cup, the CCC, which is on February 18th. And then on February 22nd, we have our first official game. So that's 17 days away or so, right?
Yeah.
So looking forward to that also. I put MLS season as a topic just so I could put out there that next week, you guys know we do the Battered MLS Fans podcast, that we're going to have an episode in a couple minutes at 10 o'clock. We're going to be talking about just the transfers and the fact that people don't like that it's a selling league. But next week, on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we're going to be doing previews of every single team in 3 nights. We're going to have 30 guests. Well, 29, right? Not us. So 29 guests in 3 nights. We're going to be doing just blam, blam, blam previews. And it's going to be a little bit of a marathon. We're going to go over every team, learn a little bit about everybody, and it should be interesting. So Battered MLS Fans next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 29 guests, 29 teams, 29 previews. So make sure that you jump on because those will all be live. And you can learn a little bit about every team. We're going to make sure we do it. It's going to be 15-minute preview. So just the main points, just so everybody gets a little feel for every single team. Not a lot of pleasantries, and just get to the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun-packed set of days. I mean, it's gonna be literally back to back. I mean, Steve Munoz is saying we don't need to learn about the bum clubs.
Well, I mean, there's 29 other bum clubs, so we're gonna be doing 29 other bum clubs. And if you're interested in learning about any of those bum clubs, go ahead and you can join in on those episodes.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope. I think it's gonna be a good time.
All right, Chris, we have reached the end. Do you have any final thoughts or anything that you would like to bring up? Oh, and batteredfans.com, Miami versus everybody. Somebody said that we should do like another discount. Hold on. Go ahead, Chris. You could.
Yeah, I mean, I guess as far as doing like another discount, we can be able to work on that, especially since the season is going to be ramping up. But for sure, you guys are going to see a lot more new merch on batterfans.com because Danny has been cooking in the background as far as like putting things together, not just for Inter Miami, though, but for like a lot of other teams. Saga Daddy saying, make sure Tommy is 29th. That's probably going to be the most funny. And Richard Greenberg, we're going to cover TFC. Funny thing is the reason we were talking about you, Richard, is because this is the only guest that we haven't been able to lock up is a Toronto FC podcaster.
Yeah, it's funny because it's funny you say Richard. If you include us, right? Because we're going to do a Miami preview also. Yeah. We have 29 of the 30 teams covered. There's only one team that I haven't been able to find a podcast or anybody that covers the team, or at least anybody that would respond to us, and it's Toronto. So go figure. And the reason I was on mute, I was talking to the boss, aka my wife, and she said she would put a discount. It's going to go till Sunday. It will not be 305% off, Mike V. But because the promo code, and now you guys know the promo code is 305, and she's going to put it at 30% off. She tried to do 30.5, didn't allow it for some reason. But 30% off until Sunday using promo code 305. She just ran over here to tell me that it didn't let her do 30.5. So 30% off. So go ahead and Toronto Till I Die podcast is great. I'm going to have to check that out, Richard. Let me write that. Keep a note to myself.
Yeah, we're going to have to check that out. And Steve Munoz is saying, I can act as a TFC podcaster. Listen, there's 2 markets that we've noticed that need podcasters. That's Toronto and DC. What was the other one? And DC United. Like
DC doesn't have anybody. Yeah. Like literally, like I've scoured. DC just has no representation anywhere. The only one I could find lives in the UK. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So,
well, and it doesn't help. I remember we were looking for it, and I looked up DC on Twitter, and all you would see is just a bunch of Batman fans, which is like, what are you doing? Batman isn't even a superhero. Ooh, that's a good way to end it, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I could end it with Super Mario is a superhero, so there you go. And Steve, yes, that's the conversation that me and Chris were having. That DC is an OG club. They were the first dynasty in the MLS because they won. Was it the first 3 or 4 championships? Like they I'm pretty surprised that they don't have anybody representing them podcast wise. So
Yeah, that's kind of it kind of sucks, but it is what it is, I guess. And Mike V is saying literally DC doesn't have anybody now for podcasts or really for anything else. And Thomas, listen, again, yes, I'll watch my mouth a little bit, okay? But Batman is not the best, okay? I mean, let's not get crazy here. Spider-Man is like 100 times better than Batman.
El Diablo. I mean, if anybody's a DC fan, we got because what we started doing, we started putting up a lot of MLS shirts, and we're gonna be rolling them out in the next week. But yeah, we have a cool El Diablo shirt on there for DC fans.
The fact that there's a Hialeah United podcast,
wow!
I mean, that's just diabolical.
That has to be a fun podcast to listen to. Shout out to Hialeah United. If you guys watch the show by any chance, maybe you don't, right? Who cares about It's Miami when you have a Hialeah team? But if you do, shout out to you guys. We would love to talk to you because that has to be awesome. Hialeah United has a podcast. You know what? Steve Munoz might be talking crap. You see, he was talking crap. Come on, Steve Munoz.
Well, let me tell you one thing. One thing I wanted to talk about, since we're kind of gas bagging here, is so I've learned some information about a cliche phrase. I got a bridge to sell you, if you believe that. I've been saying that a lot lately. I don't know if anybody's noticed that on Twitter.
Yeah, you've tweeted that quite a bit, yeah.
Yeah, and there's a reason behind it, because I just learned the reason that is a saying. Do you know what the saying is? Do you know where the original where it originated from?
What if you believe that?
I got a bridge to sell you. Yeah. Yep. No. Steve Munoz, you're on it, buddy. George C. Parker, who was born in 1860, was best known for repeatedly successfully selling the Brooklyn Bridge. He literally made documents and offices to sell the Brooklyn Bridge to immigrants that were coming to New York City. And he successfully sold the Brooklyn Bridge. He sold Madison Square Garden, the Statue of Liberty. That is interesting stuff. I mean, I love history too, Stancy, but I didn't know this. Sorry, I had to bring this up. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Danny. Tell Jenny I said sorry.
No, it's okay. She was talking to me about something else.
Oh, okay.
Cooking in the background. All right. Well, I think that's it for episode 305. I apologize for those that were expecting something cool for 305, but we couldn't think of anything. I'll end with this. And this is for people that are like really into Miami, because otherwise you might not know. But we had a conversation about that 305 episode. Couldn't think of anything, and Chris suggested one thing, and I thought it was a silly idea. And not because I don't want to poo-poo on this person, right? This person is probably great. But Chris wanted to have on Lawson Sunderland for episode 305. I don't know where the connection was there. He's no longer with the team. But he went on the Discord. He even asked for a poll to see if people would want a former player.
Which everybody said they want a former player, Danny. You got blown out of the water.
But because you didn't want to specify who it was.
I don't have to do that. I mean, Soccer Daddy's saying he's gone. No.
Exactly.
But still, it's an interesting insight.
So what?
I mean, Steve Munoz is saying bad idea. Get Ruiz. I mean, I'd love to have Ruiz. That would have been the best guess. Other than him and Kremaki, those would have been the best guess for today if we would have been able to pull that.
Well, but that was my whole thing. I was like, he's no longer on the team. Why would we want him? Especially, he's like, oh, but he's 305. I was like, it doesn't make sense. So he went on, and then he half polled it. He half polled it. He said, hey,
I said,
and then of course he won. He's like, hey, would you guys want a player on the podcast? I was like, go tell them what player it is. See what they say. And again, no disrespect to Lawson Sunderland. I'm sure he's a great kid. And if he would have gotten a chance, he might have played well. But he's no longer with the team. He's
going to beast out. And I think he's going to Bulgaria or Belgium. Yes. Let me double check. Let me double check.
While you double check that, I'll sign us out. If you are listening on audio, we appreciate you listening all the way to the end. Please give us 5 stars, comment, review, all that good stuff. We're not going to be on tomorrow night. Again, we're giving ourselves a little break before we hit the ground running next week, because next week I told you it's going to be a marathon for MLS previews, and then Miami is just taking off every 2 days. So he went to the Netherlands. Okay. So we won't be on tonight, but Saturday post game, and then we'll just get rocking and rolling next week again. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching all the way in. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. And for those of you in the chat, as always, we appreciate you guys for hanging out with us for the last 56 minutes. Lewis, again, for that super chat, we appreciate you, and everybody for hanging out with us for the last 305 episodes. You guys are the best. And Chris, yes, absolutely ban him from setting up polls. Not only are you and you shouldn't at everyone on Discord, man.
But that's how you get everyone's attention, no?
No, but not everybody cares. Some people don't know.
How can I at? Is there a thing to at half the people? I mean, I don't know.
Just don't at everyone. You said like 3 times that day.
It was a mistake. I don't know how to delete stuff. I don't know what to do. I mean, and look, T98 is saying the Netherlands ain't bad. They're not bad. He's playing for the A League, for the top league there, the Premier League.
Well, if you guys are
show some respect, put some respect on Lasse Sunderland's name. I thought he was going to be a gem here.
About some players that are moving to other countries, we're going to be on in a couple minutes for the Battered MLS fans, me, Chris, and we're going to be joined by Tommy one time to talk MLS and outgoing players and all that other stuff. So, and then Tommy said he's logged into the wrong podcast. All right, don't worry. I know you're waiting for us, Tommy. We'll be right there. So again, we appreciate everybody hanging out with us, and we will be back. And Hazel, I got you. We're gonna make that. We're gonna make that for sure. We'll be back on Saturday for the post game. So until the next one, have a good one.